room, office, and everywhere, anywhere. We provide a company you desire in terms of balanced and up-to-date news, programs, and the best of entertainment. Tune in to DSTV channel 251, Go TV channel 91.
Hello and welcome to News on NTA International. I'm Nancy Godi-Angonihu, and on sign language is Bamidele John. First, the headlines. Ahead of March 18 gubernatorial elections, Deputy Governor of Kano State visits President Buhari, hails him for good governance. Court of Appeal reserves judgment on suit seeking disqualification of Tinubu Shetima. 6 die in Lagos train bus accident. Lasema blames driver's recklessness for incident. Governor Hope Uzodinma of Imo State says no matter how hard the major opposition parties try to discredit the outcome of the just concluded presidential election, it remains Nigeria's freest, fairest, and most credible ever conducted since 1999. Speaking to journalists after an audience with President Muhammadu Buhari in Daura, the governor described the victory of Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu in particular as a good omen for Nigerians' prosperous future. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the details of this report in our subsequent bulletins. President Muhammadu Buhari is urging the people of Kano to bury their differences and return the governing APC to power for enhanced socio-economic development of the state, describing the party's governorship candidate Nasiru Gawuna as a dependable ally. This was when he granted audience to the candidate who is the Deputy Governor of Kano State at his Daura residence. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo has the report.
It was a very warm welcome for the APC governorship candidate for Kano and the State Deputy Governor Nasir Yusuf Gawuna. Mr. Gawuna congratulated President Buhari for his leadership, guidance and support that led to the governing party's candidate Asiwaju Bola Ahmed Tinubu winning the just concluded presidential election to sustain his administration's worthy legacies for a sustainable future of the country. Discussions also centered on the forthcoming governorship and state assembly elections, with the president acknowledging the capability and doggedness of Mr. Gawuna, stressing the need for the people of Kano to trust him with their mandate.
And he advised me make sure that I remain focused since I'm running for the governorship in my state, and make sure that the elections in Kano are peaceful.
The APC candidate speaks on the ongoing electioneering campaign and his chances of winning.
The campaign is going very well. My chances of winning, that I have always said, is in the hands of God. I know my character, inshallah, and I know the kind of person I am and for what I am seeking that seat for. I have nothing in mind but the people of Kano, development and the future of our youth and women, which is paramount. And that I have promised that, inshallah, if I'm destined to be the next governor of Kano State, I will be sincere to my people. I will have an open government, and inshallah I will try and do my best to deliver all the good things needed by my people.
Mr. Nasir Yusuf Gawuna has been the Deputy Governor of Kano State since 2018, before which he served as Commissioner for Agriculture and was also Chairman of Nasarawa Local Government for 8 years. From Daura, Katsina State, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, has appealed to voters to shun all invitations that may disrupt the governorship and state assembly elections, urging them to make use of their PVC to elect credible leaders. He stated this at a meeting with indigenes of Kwara State resident in Lagos. Abolade Salami reports.
As the main political parties jostling for the #1 seat in Lagos State prepare to go to the poll on Saturday to test their popularity among the electorate, one vital point political gladiators lay emphasis on is the promotion of peace, pre- and post-elections. It's on this premise that the Minister of Information and Culture, Lai Mohammed, brought together Kwara indigenes who are residents in Lagos to remind them of the need to shun all forms of electoral violence as a way to reflect the patriotic zeal of the people. Highlighting the numerous benefits Kwarans have enjoyed both economically and politically, the minister says now is the time to show spirit of appreciation through the ballot.
We will spare nothing to ensure victory for Governor Sanwo-Olu is the election bill of Saturday. We, the people of Kwara State, are to be found everywhere in Lagos State, but we hold sway and we are politically relevant in the foreign local governments. We are doing this for ourselves because we have been the major benefactors of Ashwaju Bola Ahmed.
As a way of showing gratitude to the people of Kwara who reside in the state for their unalloyed support over the years, Deputy Governor Lagos State Obafemi Hamzat assured them of the delivery of more infrastructural projects and enabling environment for their business to thrive.
Lagos is too important, and we are therefore telling our brothers and sisters gathered here today who have come together to endorse us, to say we are appealing to Lagosians for continuity and for them to vote for APC on Saturday.
The political gladiators appealed to the Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, and security agencies to remain apolitical in the discharge of their civic duties. In Lagos, Abolade Salami, NTA News.
Meanwhile, the Inter-Party Advisory Council, IPAC, is urging all stakeholders in the electoral process to please bear with the Independent National Electoral Commission as it puts its act together for the March 18, 2023 governorship and state houses of assembly elections. This was the fallout of the Council's Emergency General Assembly meeting in Abuja, and Timothy Yusuf was there.
The success of the forthcoming gubernatorial...
With the assurance that the bimodal voter accreditation system, BVAS, will function properly and results will be uploaded to the INEC Results Viewing Portal, IREV, in real time, Nigerians and the international community expect free, fair, credible, transparent, inclusive and peaceful governorship and legislative elections. Therefore, a charge on INEC by IPAC to further justify the confidence Nigerians reposed in it and improve on its performance in the 25 February 2023 Presidential and National Assembly polls.
It is indeed a difficult time for all lovers of democracy in Nigeria and calls for understanding and maximum support to INEC to discharge the crucial national duty that will define the destiny of the nation.
The Council also enjoined security agencies to sit up and be alive to their constitutional mandate to secure lives and property before, during and after elections, so as to avert the violence and other security breach witnessed during the presidential election.
The will and mandate of the people freely given to a political party must be respected. This is the beauty of election and representative governance. Any attempt to manipulate the upcoming elections must be resisted. The era of vote buying and other irregularities that marred previous polls is over.
The success of the forthcoming governorship and legislative elections will be a giant step forward in the country's march to national greatness, political stability, economic prosperity, and visionary leadership. Timothy Yusuf, NTA News.
And Muhammadu Buhari Oshibajo Dynamic Support Group, a political support group, has appealed to the opposition political parties not to see the 2023 presidential election as the last to be conducted in Nigeria. The group advised those aggrieved with the outcome of the elections to follow the rule of law and allow peaceful electoral atmosphere for the conduct of other elections. Salihu Gwanara reports.
The group acknowledged the dynamics of Nigerian electoral process since the inception of the current Fourth Republic as an evolution towards building an everlasting democracy. Plans by the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu to form a government of national unity and sustain the gains of the current administration through the renewed hope agenda, the group added, means there are better days ahead.
Judging from the acceptance speech of the president-elect, opposition are supposed to see an all-inclusive governance underway and they start preparing to join the monumental political process championed by Ashwani Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is poised to build on the developmental stride of President Muhammadu Buhari years in the office.
Meanwhile, the Presidential Campaign Council headquarters of the president-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu continue to play host to supporters of the party who are hopeful that with Tinubu after President Muhammadu Buhari's tenure in May 29, Nigeria will remain steady in all-round development.
Nigeria is for all of us. Our principal has already called on them to come so that they will join hands and move Nigeria forward.
Asiwaju means in Yoruba land somebody who is leading, and Almighty Allah has made him to always be in the forefront, leading.
They call on their supporters to give the party more support during the forthcoming governorship and state assembly elections. In Abuja, Saliu Gwanara, NTA News.
The position of the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, on the 2023 presidential election is a significant and credible assessment of the electoral process that should not be ignored. According to the Buhari Media Organization, BMO, the Lawyers Union is an organization that is known to be non-partisan and always on the side of history. In a statement signed by its chairman, Niyi Akinsiju, and Secretary Cassidy Madueke, BMO said it is a credit to the Buhari administration that NBA's findings indicated that only about 8% of the voting public were not satisfied with the exercise across the country. The statement said, "We find it heartwarming that the Nigerian Bar Association, NBA, has in its findings on the February 25th presidential and National Assembly elections shown that only 8.2% of the people that voted were dissatisfied with the electoral process." A cursory look at NBA's interim report on the election revealed that about a quarter of the electorate were excellently impressed with the elections, while majority of the voters were somewhat satisfied, the statement added. Now, the Court of Appeal sitting in Abuja has reserved judgment in a suit seeking the disqualification of the nomination of the president-elect and the vice president-elect. The court gave the order after the adoption of the final written addresses by the parties in the suit. Dele Atumbi of our Judiciary Desk reports.
The parties in this matter are the People's Democratic Party as appellant, while Independent National Electoral Commission, All Progressives Congress, the President-elect Bola Ahmed Tinubu, and the Vice President-elect Kashim Shettima are respondents. The bone of contention here is the purported nomination of the Vice President-elect more than once. The PDP at the trial court, relying on Section 35 of the Electoral Act 2022, averred that the Vice President-elect was nominated twice against the law. The trial court, in its verdict, dismissed the suit, averring that nomination of candidate is an internal party affairs that robbed the court of jurisdiction. The court also ruled that the PDP lacked the right to institute the matter in line with Section 84, subsection 14. This was the matter that the PDP as an appellant brought before the Court of Appeal for determination. After the adumbrations of parties in the matter, the court reserved judgment in the suit. The appellate court also adjudicated on other matters involving Labour Party and others. In Abuja, Dele Atumbi, NTA News.
Some criminals attempting to disrupt the February 25th presidential election in parts of Borno and Kogi states were arrested, while others were eliminated during airstrikes. Defense correspondent Ismail Musa reports that this was announced at the defense headquarters, Abuja.
It's another defense media operations briefing for updates on ongoing armed forces operations across the country, with emphasis on military operations between 23rd February and 9th March 2023. Top is the rescue of 63 kidnapped victims and arrest of 8 political thugs with weapons attempting to disrupt the just concluded presidential election.
On 24th February 2023, intelligence reports revealed terrorists converging with plans to attack some locations in Kawa, Gambaru, and Mongunu in Borno State in a bid to disrupt the 2023 general election. Series of air interdiction operations were carried out at the identified locations. Feedback revealed that the airstrike dealt with the terrorists, as several terrorists were neutralized with their logistics destroyed. Troops on patrol at Ike town in a Kano local government area of Kogi State on 25th February 2023 arrested 8 suspected political thugs in an attempting to disrupt the electoral process. Troops recovered 3 pump-action guns, 2 locally fabricated AK-47 rifles, 6 locally made assorted guns.
Similarly, the defense headquarters has attributed the drastic reduction in kidnapping for ransom to the current cashless policy.
Cash squeeze has equally contributed. Because if you kidnap people and ask for ransom, the mode of payment is usually cash. If you are going to pay through electronic transfer, you can easily be monitored.
In the period under review, several criminal camps were destroyed and arms recovered. From the defense headquarters in Abuja, Ismail Musa, NTA News.
This is news on NTA International. Time for a break on the news.
Mommy, it is time for us to leave this place.
One of your earrings is missing.
No one will find it.
I'm not willing to take that chance.
Have a big plan, Mommy.
What do you want?
I want a senior position at Dubai.
If anything happens to me, go through the content of this envelope and check every single thing.
It's done. No one will ever find out the truth.
Latest entrant, latest technology. Welcome to Intel 4G LTE Advanced and experience super fast internet access today. Visit intel.com.ng or any of our stores in Lagos, Abuja, and Port Harcourt to get started. Intel. Live more.
Thanks for staying with us. A large construction of illegal artisanal refinery at Eche area of Rivers State has been bust by the Nigeria Security and Civil Defense Corps. At an operation led by the state commandants, Michael Oga, NSCDC warned bunkerers to steer clear of Rivers State or continue to face the wrath of the law. Robinson Dirataide reports.
The illegal refinery is just about 5 minutes drive from the main road, traversing through narrow multinational roads and bush paths in Otamiri community, a local government area of Rivers State. One could only imagine how much must have been invested into the construction of the well-structured illegal refinery with wide range of pipelines laid. Although operation is apparently yet to commence, the perpetrators obviously planned to tap into the pipeline of a multinational company through their bulk delivery line to siphon crude into the refinery.
One of the biggest illegal refinery I've ever seen happening here in Ichi local government. You can see the number of tanks and the reservoirs and the ovens that have been provided here. There are more than 8 ovens here the tanks where they are going to store this illegal crude, they are more than 10. These structures here cost millions, so it's not a poor man business. So we are very sure that somebody big is sponsoring this business.
The suspects escaped before arrest could be made, but the command says investigation is ongoing to apprehend the sponsors and operators of the illegal refinery. In Port Harcourt, Robinson Deratede, NTA News.
The people of Nembe in Bayelsa State are appealing to the federal government and security agencies to intervene in the frequent cases of attacks by unknown gunmen in the kingdom. The appeal was made by the Council of Chiefs at a press briefing in Yenogua. The report.
February 15, 2023 may have come and gone, but the memory remains in the history of Opunembe as gunmen invaded the community, destroyed lives and left others with injuries. Some of the affected persons were Bate Agala, Queen Keriseye and Inikio Walter. Barely 20 days after the sad incident and attack, Opunembe people are worried over a situation where security agencies are yet to bring the culprits to book. The people are therefore crying out, calling for justice to be done. Chairman Opunembe Council of Chiefs, Chief Ezekiel Tengbanyon Ikoli, in a press briefing disclosed that after the attack, the community have in several occasions written petitions to the Inspector General of Police and other security agencies across the country, but investigations into the killings is yet to commence.
Nothing has been done. No arrest has been done. No invitation has been sent out. And these people are continuously sending in threats that they are coming back to attack the kingdom. We are calling on the state government and the federal government to come to save us from these threats.
As that to peace, so everything is in the government's hands. Just like our chief said, it's a coordinated attack, and the world should know about it.
The Opunembe Chiefs Council and the entire kingdom are hopeful that investigation and possible arrest of the masterminds of the dastardly act on innocent lives of the area will restore peace and order in Opunembe. From Opunembe, Bayelsa State, Baratwaipre Awi, NTA News.
U.S. Vice President Kamala Harris to visit Zambia this month. In other news, sanctions against Sudan outdated, says Chinese envoy. Justin Bemunyi brings us details on Global Update.
United States Vice President Kamala Harris will visit Zambia in late March. This is part of an African tour that will take her to Ghana and Tanzania, scheduled for 25 March to 3rd April. She will become the 18th and most senior American official to visit Africa this year. This visit will be the most high profile as the US and Russia go pound for pound, countering each other in Africa as the war in Ukraine enters its second year. Vice President Harris could set the stage for the eventual promised arrival of President Joe Biden, a vow he made at the US-Africa Leaders Summit in Washington, D.C. in December. So far, First Lady Jill Biden's visits to Namibia and Kenya are regarded as the most high-profile, followed by that of U.S. Secretary of Treasury Janet Yellen, who was in Senegal, South Africa, and Zambia last month. Edward Buria, a senior advisor for private sector engagement at the U.S. Institute of Peace, called the planned visits by American envoys to Africa supercharged because they were moving beyond the typical Secretary of State visits. In other news, sanctions by the United Nations Security Council against Sudan have been proved outdated and should be lifted, a Chinese envoy has insisted. The 15-member Security Council decided with a vote of 13 in favor and 2 abstentions, China and Russia, to extend through March 12, 2024, the mandate of the panel of experts charged with assisting its Sudan Sanctions Committee and helping Sudan return to peace and stability. He noted that the Sudanese transitional government and the armed opposition signed the Juba Peace Agreement in 2020, and the UN African Union mission in Darfur, UNAMID, completed its mandate and withdrew from Darfur at the end of the same year. Elsewhere, milk processors have been protected from competition after the Kenya Dairy Board ordered the indefinite suspension of milk powder imports. The regulator said rains are expected this month, an outcome that will significantly boost local milk production and reduce the need for imports. Justin Bemuni, NTA News.
United Nations Deputy Secretary General Amina Mohammed says the United Nations will continue its support to the Ogoni cleanup exercise in Nigeria. At a bilateral engagement with Minister of Environment Mohammed Abdullahi on the sidelines of the United Nations Conference for Least Developed Countries in Doha, Qatar, the UN Deputy Scribe notes that although the United Nations Environment Programme UNEP contract with the government of Nigeria expires by December 2023, the UN Office for Project Services UNOPS will take over supervision and technical support to the Ogoni cleanup project. This, she says, is to ensure continuity and sustainability of the program. Talks at the bilateral engagement cover Nigeria's preparation for COP28, Energy Transition Plan, effective leadership at the Pan-African Agency for the Great Green Wall. The UN also promises to assist Nigeria and Africa to mainstream climate change priorities within the framework of sustainable financing. Now, a total of 6 passengers have now been confirmed dead from the train accident that occurred earlier on Thursday in Lagos. Adeni Taiwo reports that emergency services responders have concluded rescue and recovery operations at the scene of the incident.
Inbound Lagos from Ijoko area of Ogun State, the passenger train was said to be on a slow speed when the ill-fated bus with registration number 250033 ran across its track, leading to a collision. The impact led to the damage of the entire midsection of the bus.
This is not the exact spot where the collision between the train and the bus happened. We were told that happened along Ikeja, where a sign like this discouraging vehicles from crossing the rail track on the approach of a train was also in place. But in defiance of that order and that of a flag officer, the driver decided to take a risk, leading to the accident that drew both the train and the bus up to this point, where a rescue operation happened.
So I see many people inside. There is blood inside the bus everywhere. So people wound seriously. For instance, I run inside the bus and rescue people inside the bus.
There was supposed to be an gate, something like a gate when, like a barrier. When a train is coming, they block it off totally because I think the train was given a sign, why coming?
While the bulk of the victims received early first aid treatment and are now undergoing comprehensive medical care, a total of 6 passengers have now been confirmed dead. The driver of the bus is reportedly on the run. Assistant Inspector General of Police, Zone 2, Abiodun Alabi, and Lagos State Commissioner of Police, Idowu Owonwa, have visited the scene with a promise to carry out comprehensive investigation into the accident.
We just returned from the emergency ward now, interacted with the Chief Medical Officer. We saw some of the victims. Our focus now, save lives, clear the grounds, and then, of course, the investigative process which will be jointly carried out by the relevant bodies.
Meanwhile, the bus has been evacuated from the rail track. In Lagos, Adeni Taiwo, NTA News.
And news just reaching us says, following the fatal crash that involved a moving train and the Lagos State staff bus at PWD railway crossing along Agege Motor Road, Lagos, the Corps Marshal Federal Road Safety Corps, Dauda Aliyu, has expressed his heartfelt sympathy with the victims as well as admonished relevant authorities to construct level crossing railway gates to enhance safety in train operations across the country. In a statement by the Assistant Corps Marshal, Public Education Officer, Federal Road Safety Corps, Headquarters Abuja, BC Kazim, the Corps Marshal also called on traders to avoid the unwholesome practice of displaying wares around or on rail tracks and cautioned all categories of road users to desist from undue interference with rail tracks, whether or not the rails are engaged by trains. The Corps Marshal commiserated with the families of the deceased and also wished the injured quick recovery and the families of the deceased the fortitude to bear the losses. He commended the FRSC team and also first responders like Nigeria Police, LASMA for prompt rescue of the victims and promised that the crash will be investigated. And that's it on the news. On behalf of Bamidele John, this is Nancy Godiang who thanking you for watching. But do remember to connect with the NTA and the campaign against rape and rapists. Thanks for watching.